All right, barbell overhead press is one of the best movements that you can do to develop your shoulders. It's not for everyone, so let's go through how to do it and whether you should do it. Now, before you even attempt to do a single rep of this, you need to do this test. So just stand up straight, bend backwards from your hips. You want to keep your knees straight so that the movement is occurring in your lower back. If this movement is totally comfortable for you, then that's a green light. We can skip ahead. But if you can't do this comfortably, then skip to the end of the video. I'm going to go through a few things that we can use to help unlock that lower back. And if you try these things and you still can't get that comfortable movement, then this exercise, either it's not for you for the moment, or it might be just on the day. You might come in stiff for some reason, but you don't want to push through this exercise when you don't have this actual mobility in your lower back. I do also recommend wearing a belt for this exercise. It's going to help you brace and give you a bit of support through your core. Now, the first thing is to set the correct rack height. When you stand up with the bar, you don't want to have to get onto your tiptoes. You want to be able to have your knees bent with the bar braced on your chest. You can see here that the bar is resting on my chest. It's obviously supported with my hands, and my knees are bent. I'm slightly bent backwards. And as I extend through my knees, that bar is still resting on my chest the whole time. Next, let's have a quick look at hand position. Now, whatever position that you normally use for your bench press, I would go inside, like one hand width or half a hand width in from that. Now, to initiate the lift, I've got the bar on my chest, I bend my knees and I push up through my legs. So let's watch that again. So I'm pushing through my legs, and as I get a little bit of momentum there from my legs, I lift my chest actively to help push that off my chest. When you're doing a weight that's difficult, you'll find that that helps quite a lot to get you started. And that brings us to the actual rep itself, the range of motion that you're going to use. Now, the low point of the rep, I want your elbows to be just a little bit below your shoulders like this. And the high point of the exercise, your elbows are not going to lock out. So the actual range of motion of the exercise doesn't need to be big. You don't need to go all the way down to your chest. You don't need to lock out your elbows at the top. That bottom to mid-range is where all of the pressure is going onto your delts, and that is what is going to allow you to lift the most weight, which is going to help you grow the most muscle. Now, another important technique thing, on the initial lift, yes, you are using your legs to help kick it up off your chest, but during your set, I don't want too much leg drive in the actual movement. When it comes to technique, my recommendation is to operate within what is safe and what is most effective. And if you are having a lot of lower body movement, that is going to compensate a lot for what your shoulders can't do and put more pressure on your shoulder joint than what it can handle. So here is me using myself as a human sacrifice to show you what is not acceptable as far as bending the rules in the technique. So I've got the initial lift up, that's fine. But as you can see, I can barely get any movement without using my lower body here. So if you are going for max reps, I would go to the point to which you can't do another rep without the assistance of your legs and call the set there. Now, the last thing to go through is how to actually catch the weight at the end of your set. So let's have a look at that. Now you can see here, I'm bending my knees as I let the weight drop down onto my chest. Let's look from the front so we get a better angle. Now, remember before where we talked about the low point of the exercise is where your elbows are just a little bit below your shoulders. If you go any lower than that, basically from between that point and the bar being on your chest, that is a range where you are the weakest in this movement. So we do not want you to be loading really hard. We don't want to load the full weight of the bar when you're fatigued through that low point of the movement. So you're probably getting the impression that there's a lot of caveats to this exercise and there's a lot of ways to hurt yourself. So that's why I don't give this exercise to people who are real fresh into their training. And this movement in particular is something that you need to really spend some time on getting good at it before you can really start to push serious weights. You need to get the technique and the safety aspects of it down pat. Like this dropping the bar onto your chest at the end of your set is very important. All right, now back to the back bendy situation. So if you have found yourself not able to bend backwards like this, let's have a go at a couple of these things. Now, I'll put a link to these videos in the description, but first of all, I would be looking at doing some McKenzie push-ups to get some passive extension through your lower back. And next, I would be looking at doing some active thoracic extension as well. So I'll link these videos in the description. Now, obviously, this is not an exhaustive list of how to fix back mobility issues, but it is a really good start, and I'm always happy to answer any questions you've got, so just pop them in the comments, or you can contact me via Instagram as well. Now, I don't usually mention this in my videos, but I do online coaching, and if you're interested, if you're finding that these videos are informative for you, then definitely drop me a message and we can chat about your goals and figure out how to achieve them.